So now y'all come into my kitchen. This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome to Cooking Today. I've got my friend Holly Thomas here today. Hi.
Hi.
Is this your second time or third time?
Second. Well, third show, but we filmed 2 in one day.
Yeah.
So second.
But
time.
yeah, this is your third recipe.
It is.
Holly is the domestic housewife on Instagram. She's kind of a famous person.
Oh gosh. No, I'm
She
not.
hates when we talk about. I inserted that on purpose, but she has a lot of Instagram followers and won't ever really say. But we all think she probably makes cookies for famous people.
A few.
I told you she won't talk about it though. Anyway, but today we thought with it being spring and kind of end of the school year, kind of kicking off summer, whatever, that we would make some really fun double doozy cookies. Do you want to explain what a double doozy is?
Yes. If you haven't had a double doozy, you are missing out. It's like my very favorite treat to make. My kids love it. My husband loves it. Teacher treats. We were thinking we have some fun sprinkles. We'll show you guys. Cinco de Mayo. People like to make treats.
But it's a cookie sandwich.
It's a cookie sandwich with icing in the middle. And if you caught our last episode where we made the big cookie cake, it's that same icing. We'll use it a little differently. And you might go back and check that episode out because we use it a few different ways.
We did.
And there are some fun tips.
Yeah.
So
we're going to do that. So basically this is a
double doozy.
Chocolate, is it
Chocolate
basically
chip
a chocolate
double
chip
doozy
cookie?
cookie. Yeah. But you're right. You saying sugar cookie, you could make it. You could make sugar cookies.
Or snickerdoodles? I would love a snickerdoodle cookie.
Any kind of cookie. Put icing in the middle.
Okay, we sort of have some things ready. So do you want to kind of tell us what we do first?
Yes.
Because there are a few things that are different than what I normally do. So I'm curious to hear.
Amy has whisked our dry ingredients together. Do you want to do that a few more times for me? It is 2 cups of flour, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and a half a teaspoon of salt.
Wait, I didn't put it in.
Go ahead and put it in for me. I thought you'd stuck it
All I
in.
did was whisk the flour.
Okay.
So what was it?
A half a teaspoon of baking soda.
Okay.
And then a half a teaspoon of salt. Yes.
Okay.
Whisk those
Now
together.
I'll whisk.
There you go. And then set your dry ingredients aside. And then we will start on our wet ingredients in the mixing bowl.
And what's that?
We have a cup of brown sugar and half a cup of white sugar in this bowl. 3/4 cup of melted unsalted butter.
That is so intriguing to me.
Yes. I always soften my butter when I make cookies. I just feel like it makes a smoother dough. But the melted butter, I feel like just makes a better chocolate chip cookie. That's my opinion, but I have made cookies a lot of different ways, and I feel like the melted butter is best.
Okay, so what do we need to do?
Let's start with, do you want to swap me, and do you want to?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead and put the sugar in.
I've already done this.
And then we'll go ahead and put the melted butter in. And I am just not very picky on the order of my ingredients. It all goes in the bowl and it all mixes together.
Well, and it's all ultimately cookie dough. So
Exactly.
Who doesn't love just cookie dough?
So it's more fun to just kind of throw it all in.
Okay.
And then we need 1 whole egg.
Here, you do that.
Okay.
You've cracked 8,000 more eggs than I have in my life. I can't even imagine. We talked about that before, I think, when you were here.
Yes.
Just trying to even wrap your brain around how many eggs she's probably cracked.
A bunch. I could not keep count. And then we'll use 1 egg yolk. So we'll separate the white out really quick. Okay. And this, using that second yolk, will just give you a really dense, soft bakery style cookie. Throw that in. I'll give you that. Okay. And then, Amy, do you want to do a tablespoon of vanilla?
I will.
And
Ew, I love a tablespoon. That's a lot.
It is. And you know, it's funny because sometimes I'll use a teeny bit of vanilla in my cookies, but I love vanilla.
Well, they watch. I mean, for the people who watch this show, every time I open a bottle of vanilla, I'm like,
yes.
This is my favorite part. I love to put it in.
And I feel like with the icing that we will be putting in the middle, I just feel like that vanilla gives it just the perfect offset taste.
Okay, so we're creaming that,
we're just creaming this together, low speed, low to medium.
And then what do we do after that?
And once this is all creamed together, I'll have Amy get the dry ingredients and we'll stick that in.
That I finally actually put together. The other night I decided I was going to make homemade donuts at night, the kind you bake in the oven.
Yum.
And I was talking on the phone while I was doing it, which you can't do. You cannot do when you have to bake.
No.
And I totally forgot to stir the dry ingredients in at all. So I basically baked wet vanilla eggs. I'm like, this is not right. I
Something
really
did not turn out
This
right.
recipe is bad. And then all of a sudden I'm like, looked, and there were my dry ingredients
funny.
sitting right there.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
Well, I'm glad you caught that.
I
That
did.
might not have worked without our
it wouldn't have
baking
worked at
soda.
all. So do you do all at once or
Stick it
half?
all at once. Nope, all at
Oh
once.
my gosh, you really do it. Yeah,
I do.
You just do.
This
You know
is
what?
how I do all of my baking.
Because in the most respectful way, she's done it so many times, she's over it. You know,
Yes.
like you've just done
Yes.
it.
That's
And
so
you
true.
know it works. And
Whatever
so if
will
it can,
save me time.
yeah, that's what I was going to
I'll
say.
do.
If it'll just be a time saver.
Yep. Okay, low speed.
Okay.
I'm just incorporating this until it's all mixed together. And then once this is mixed together, we will add around 2 cups of chocolate chips and semi-sweet or milk chocolate. You choose.
Or mix. You know, sometimes I mix
Ooh,
mine just to
yeah.
get a little bit of a different
Yeah.
bite every once in
Yes.
a while. Okay, so we're gonna let that go, and then when we come back, we'll stir in our chips and we'll keep on making cookies. This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. Holly Thomas is here with me today. She's
Hi.
the domestic housewife on Instagram. She makes amazing cookies. Like, I think this is your third time here. I say it every time. I
Oh, you're
could
sweet.
literally hide in a closet and eat 10. And I'm not talking about cookies that are like,
They are pretty big.
they're like 4, no, and I
Yeah.
could do it.
Yeah,
They're
I
a
think
half
so.
an inch thick,
Yeah.
they're shortbready and awesome. You always use the right amount of like magical
You're
vanilla
sweet. I
and
like to hear that.
almond. Her almond in
hear
it
that.
is perfect. They're
Thank you.
beautiful. They taste good. So a lot of people always say, are her cookies as good as they look? And I say, yes, closet, 10 of them. I could.
You're
So,
sweet. Well, thank you.
that's Holly, and today we're making double doozies, and so you want to tell us what we need to do next?
Yes, we have made our dough,
Uh-huh.
so we are going to take this off.
That is such an easy, I mean, I think
It
people,
is.
what,
It is.
I don't know why on earth people decide to just go buy refrigerated
Oh, my
cookie
goodness,
dough when this
yeah,
takes
don't-
no time at all.
And it's so much better.
Well, and everything is natural. Everything that's
Yes.
going in it, there are not a lot of
Yes.
preservatives. You
No.
don't really, you just know.
And
you
you
know
can
what you're
tell
getting.
in the taste.
You can
You
tell
can
in the
tell in the
taste, for sure.
And then we have 2 cups
Okay.
of your
Milk chocolate.
Stick
Minus
it in
about 2.
there. Yeah, minus a few.
Minus
we
a
might have
handful.
gotten our hands in them. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll just stir those up really good. And don't forget, you could add any kind of, my husband loves peanut butter, Reese's Pieces.
Oh,
would be yummy.
yes, and they've started to make so many good
So Andy's Mint. Have
flavors.
you seen those? Yes, Andy's Mint, butterscotch,
yeah, toffee bits.
toffee. I hand you that. And we have a small scoop here that we'll use today. And the fun thing that I love about these is that you can make these any size you want. And if I was making these for like my oldest son, who is 8, I would probably make a bigger cookie.
You know, I'm tempted to kind of group those up. Do you
Go, you can.
Do you care?
No, you do whatever
Is
you
that
want.
okay?
They'll spread a little, not
Like
a ton.
that little
Rearrange
section?
them however you want. I'll stick them on there and you rearrange. But this size right here is perfect for like a snack or my 4-year-old.
Well, and we were even saying when we were debating on whether we wanted to use a small scoop and a large
Yes.
scoop, because sometimes I make some salted chocolate chip cookies
That are-
that I use like my 1/4 cup scoop. I mean,
Yes.
when they're
Huge.
done, they're this big around.
Yeah.
But this is going to be so ultra sweet because you're going to have
Yes.
2 cookies and frosting and sprinkles. So if you want to go big on that for your children and your grandchildren, then you go ahead, but you are going to pay the price.
Yes.
Come bedtime or that witching
Yes.
hour at like 6 o'clock when you're trying to make
Yes.
dinner and they're bouncing off the walls.
Yep.
You have that.
And a lot of people, I do. See, notice I said I make the small one for my 4-year-old.
Yes.
A lot of people love the small ones because, if they do like the bigger cookie or more cookie,
Yeah.
give them 2 or 3.
Yeah, and we have
You
our
know?
oven preheated to 325. So Holly, I have a cookie recipe as well, and I do a couple of things really differently. So I just love seeing how she makes hers, and it's why I love to read through my cookbooks and see what everybody else does.
Yes.
What are their little tricks? So you're just gonna put them straight
So
in.
yes, put them straight in.
But do you see
some
this?
Some people, go for it, like to chill their dough, and that is probably one of
I
the most
chill my dough.
common questions that I get
You
with
don't
my
chill your
sugar
dough?
cookies, cookies in general. I do not chill my dough.
Why not?
I just do not like the way it cooks out. I like the taste better, and I like the look of the cookie better.
So will these spread
They
more?
will spread more.
Because I feel like when I chill my dough,
yes,
they kind of hold.
they do.
And they don't spread as far.
They do. They will spread, but also the middle, I feel like the middle cooks out better.
I can
without
see that.
chilling.
Okay, so how long do these go in?
A typical size cookie would be 15 minutes. Probably on these small ones, I would say about 10.
So we need to check them in about 10
But I would
minutes.
check them in about 10 minutes. And don't forget, everybody's oven is different.
Yes.
So if you want to set your oven on 8 or 9,
Do I need
and
to
then
clean this
come
off
back.
a little bit for you real quick?
Perfect. Yes. Yeah, because we'll come back and make
Do you want
the
to buy
icing.
it real fast?
Yeah, why not? Set your oven on 8 or 9 minutes, and then come
That's
back and check it.
heartbreaking. We just lost a little bit here.
Oh, uh-oh.
I won't eat that one. I won't
Okay.
eat that one.
And then we will wash this off, and we'll get our
Stuff ready for
stuff ready for our icing in the middle.
Yes.
Powdered sugar, shortening,
Yep.
vanilla, and then either water,
Here's vanilla.
milk, or heavy whipping cream.
And you're going to mix your
thin out
frosting in your mixer.
Yes.
So I do have to clean
Yes,
this off.
so we'll clean this
Isn't this
off.
a tough job?
That's the fun thing about cooking. See, you have
Cookie
to taste
dough.
test everything.
Yes, you're not
So-
supposed to eat raw eggs in your cookie dough, and I know all that, but I'm willing to take the chance because that is so good.
That was good.
And I always love that little tiny bit of salt.
Yes.
That little tiny
That
bit of salt.
vanilla. Vanilla is
There is
good.
a lot of vanilla. Okay, so those are baking.
Those are
We
baking.
have that.
10 minutes.
We're clearing
We've
out
got
our.
this.
You know what I think? How about we do?
You want to measure out powdered
This is
sugar?
clean. So
Yeah.
why don't you do that
Let's do
while I
that.
wash?
Okay, now
There's the-
typically I would make these,
Here.
if you're making cookies for a bunch of people, you want to open this?
Are you scared?
Yeah, I'm scared of that. I would use 8 cups of powdered sugar and 2 cups of shortening. But we will probably make just a half size batch because we don't need that much.
Well, and tell me why you choose shortening in yours, because I don't use shortening in mine.
It just gives it enough
Just a
of
consistent-
fluff,
yeah.
a good consistency and fluff to hold its shape in the
Okay.
middle of the cookie and if you're icing on top of a cookie.
Okay, so here's food for thought. Pun intended. We need to probably scoop that out because that's the bowl that we have. That's the
Yeah,
only
we can
bowl I
do
have
that.
for my mixer. Also, we were just talking about Holly's mixer, y'all. She makes so many cookies that her mixing bowl is large enough to put
My 4-year-old child.
her 4-year-old.
Yes, he sits in it occasionally.
Can you even believe that? Crazy. Okay, we are going to get the mixer set up to make our frosting now that we have our cookies scooped and they're baking. And then we'll come
Perfect.
back.
That's
We'll get it all
perfect.
set.
Yep.
This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. I've got Holly Thomas here with me today.
Hello.
Always fun.
It is always
It
fun.
is always fun. We have nibbled on leftover cookie dough. We have baked.
Yes.
Is that hot? Maybe a little bit. I can
Yeah,
do
a
it.
little
I
bit
can do
more.
it. No,
You
I can't
got
do
it?
it. Nope. We have baked one round of small, precious homemade cookies. Aren't those so
Yummy.
fun?
It smells really good in here.
Do smell so good. The vanilla, that extra bit,
So good.
it kind of puts them over the top.
Yep.
And then we need to let these cool. They baked for, I don't know, whatever we said.
We originally said 10 minutes.
We probably went
we tagged on a few minutes, but you would rather do that and check them. And then you really want them to be brown because and golden, because if you try to make a sandwich out of a cookie that's too soft, it won't hold.
They need to be a little firmer than what you
yeah.
might normally do. And then I would also suggest that they probably just need to be entirely cool.
Yes.
Because they'll melt that frosting.
you don't
and
want the
then
frosting to
that
melt.
won't be good.
No.
So I'm going to scoop these off and let them cool, and Holly's going to show us how to make our good frosting.
Perfect. Okay, you'll start with your powdered sugar. You want 4 cups of powdered sugar. Amy was teasing me because she asked me what I needed to make this, and I might have told her 4 bags
So I
instead
got
of
4 bags
4
of powdered
cups.
sugar.
But see, when I typically work with powdered sugar on a daily basis, I can use up to like 12 bags in a day. So
Unbelievable.
that's like nothing to me.
Unbelievable.
So, 4 cups, not 4 bags. And then you want a cup of shortening. And these
shortening sticks
are
Pre-measured.
amazing.
Well, because if
Pre-measured.
you've ever had to try to measure
Yes.
the tub shortening in a cup and then scoop it out, it's a mess.
It's
and then
not
not only
fun.
that, but It takes an act of God to clean shortening off of anything because it's so creasy. So that way you don't have to do any of that.
And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of vanilla. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this because, I mean, unless you add a bunch of vanilla, there's really not a wrong amount. And then we've just poured a small cup of heavy whipping cream. You can use water, milk, or heavy whipping cream. I love heavy whipping cream. I use it for anything that I can. It's richer, and I like the taste. So I'm gonna add, I would say this is probably 3/4 of a cup. But like I said, start with 1/4 or 1/2 cup, and then you can always add. You can't take away. Do you wanna get your guard?
Yes.
Powdered sugar is messy, and Amy likes a clean kitchen.
I do. I keep a clean kitchen. She just said in the break, your OCD cracks me up.
It is.
Did you already do your 4 cups?
Done. Yes.
And, I was scooping cookies, so I didn't
have
see.
to make Amy some cookies for the mess I've made in her kitchen today.
I'm counting
just
on
a
it.
little, you know.
I love the
treat.
I love the cookies.
So,
self-confessed closet. Oh! I almost broke my vanilla. Good Lord.
No, don't waste the vanilla.
Okay, so while that's making, I don't know, we can't remember if we officially told y'all, but when Holly was here and we made a big cookie cake and a glob of it fell over the side while it was baking, and my oven caught on fire with real flames.
Like big
Because
real
we're
flames.
super professional cooks and bakers who throw the vanilla.
We were chatting away while it burned too.
We were chatting away while it burned. Oh well. We
Okay.
have fun.
I mixed this for probably a minute or so. You can mix it for longer. Just make sure the little pieces of powdered sugar are all incorporated.
Gosh, that
into your
incorporated
icing.
quickly.
It did. And
Better than butter.
yes.
But you know I love butter, but that was
I love
quick.
butter too. And honestly, I make this icing. I either make a buttercream or the shortening icing, and most people prefer this.
So you don't need this anymore then either, do you?
No, I'm done. And I'm going to show y'all a little trick.
This is a great
that
trick.
I use. I'm just going to leave the icing in the bowl. Get a cup. And these are the icing bags that I use. I buy mine from Truly Madly Plastics online. Stick your hand in it. I have clean hands. Stick your hand in the jar and fold the top of your bag over the jar. It just makes your icing process 10 times easier.
Well, because otherwise, here's another one. Otherwise, if you were just holding a bag like this and trying to get a handful or a spoonful of frosting down inside there, you're going to hit the outside and it's going to be hard. But by doing this, it gets to the point. And then you just fold those sides right back up and they're nice and clean. Look.
See,
Isn't that the best?
I've added just enough to be easily controlled.
Now talk about this tip right here.
When I was thinking about sharing this, in my mind I thought most people do not have icing tips. It's not something, and most people don't want to go spend the money to buy them if it's not something they're using a lot.
Right.
So these are tipless bags. Cut the tip the size that you would like.
Because some people would use a Ziploc bag or some kind of plastic sack of some kind to do this. But yeah, so this is a great way to use it instead. It's more efficient.
You don't have to wash them.
Oh, you just throw them away. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the frosting is made. The cookies are cooling. And then when we come back, y'all, all we're going to do is pipe them, sprinkle them, and call it a
fun part.
The fun part. This is cooking today. Welcome back to Cooking Today. We are wrapping up Double Doozies today with Holly Thomas. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Super fun. I
Always
love it.
Fun.
So what we've done is we baked the cookies and allowed them to cool. I moved them over here on my sheet pan with my cooling rack. And then Holly and I went through and kind of matched up ones that had similar shape, which I think is really smart. So you don't have really wonky ones. And what's so funny is that you realize how many of them are almost identical.
Yes.
Like even one that I picked one out that looked a little bit more like an amoeba than a real cookie.
And you found a
pair. And I found a match. It was thrilling. So Holly has our frosting. You know, she made her frosting down in that piping bag. And then you
I cut the tip.
And you cut it off where there's a pretty good little spot down there.
It's much easier when you're making these Double Doozies to cut a bigger opening.
Okay. And then she just piped it through the middle starting in the middle and going around the outside, right? I'm saying that like
Yes. No,
like
that's
I really
perfect.
know.
Amy did one too.
I
and
did
she
one, but I
great.
didn't want y'all to watch.
I just worked in a circular motion from the middle.
And then
Super
we
easy.
have these really fun sprinkles that Holly brought from Fancy Sprinkles.
Yes.
And they taste like Halloween candy. They are
They
so
are.
delicious.
Really good.
And so then with that frosting exposed, you can either press them in like this or roll them in there if you wanted to and kind of get them into all that yummy.
But if you don't roll them, be prepared to sweep up a few sprinkles.
They've gotten away from us a little bit, but that's just part of it. So there you have it. Isn't that fun? Some summertime double doozies. Easy, 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 and so fun. Look at those.
So fun.
Isn't that cute?
It's cute.
We're going to eat them. I can't
We
wait.
are.
Cheers.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having
This
me.
is cooking today. Go. Oh my God.